Can you tell us about the first time that Mr. Paschel was physically abusive to you?
We had been at a friend's house.
Get you to pull that mic down just a little bit.
We had been at a friend's house for the day. On the way home, he reached over and grabbed my hand like he wanted to hold it, and he took my pinky finger and bent it all the way back on my hand as far as it would go. We'd had a good day. We hadn't been arguing. I yelled that I was in pain and for him to stop. He laughed it off, said it was funny. Him and his brothers used to do it to each other all the time. Didn't understand why I was upset. Yelled at me, called me a drama queen. And that was the first time that he ever physically hurt me.
Was that the only other time that he ever physically hurt you?
No, there were multiple other times after that.
Can you tell the court about that?
It was in 2019. It was in the fall. We went to like a brew at the zoo type thing. On the way home, he grabbed my hair while he was driving. I was in the passenger seat, and he grabbed a hold of my hair and pulled me over into his lap. Just my head. He pulled me over and was trying to choke me. And the only way I got him to stop was by pretending like I passed out.
Okay, and you said that you think that was the incident that you noted in your addendum, in your victim impact statement. You think that was the incident in September of 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we ended up, we were going back to my house. When we got back to my house, I jumped out of the car and I ran inside. But I have a keypad lock that he knew the code to. So he came in. I'd locked myself in the bedroom. He kicked the door in. He was physical with me, grabbing me, pushing me around. He broke my TV. He broke several things in my house. Some vases, some mirrors, anything he could get a hold of, he was grabbing and breaking. He kept pushing me back down on the bed. He held me on the bed for some time.
I want to talk about an incident from January of 2019 involving your phone. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Can you tell us what happened in that incident?
We were at his house, and I found out that night that he had been talking to at least 2 other women. We had been dating at that point for a year. He had been talking to other women, so I took his phone and unlocked it and went and hid in the bathroom, and he was sleeping on the couch. And I was taking pictures of the messages on my phone so that I had proof that he had been cheating on me. At some point, he woke up, he came into the bathroom, saw what I was doing, ripped me out of the bathroom, took my phone, took his phone, threw me on the ground, took my phone and put it on the edge of the coffee table and smashed it multiple times and broke it. I was screaming because his sons were upstairs, and so I was trying to get someone to come help me. No one would come help me. I eventually somehow went out the front door. He pushed me over, and he has an electric fence that lines his driveway, and it's got rocks on the other side. He pushed me over that fence. He had my keys. He took them and he threw them out in the woods, so I couldn't get my keys. I had no coat. I was just outside laying on the ground in his yard.
So you said this occurred at his house?
Yes, this was at his house. There's a gate so that you can get out to the road. At some point, I did try to leave, and I told him that I was going to his neighbors to call 911. He told me that they were all his tenants. He owns several properties around his house. He said, no one's going to help you. And so I started just walking up the road.
When you described the first two incidences there, you said that you don't know what provoked it. Is that what you said?
No, neither of those. The first two, I know what provoked the other one. It was because I had his phone and I was taking pictures. But the first two, no, completely unprovoked.
When you were in the vehicle on those times, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And can you recall any other specific instances of abuse during the relationship?
That night that I left his house and I was walking down the road, he eventually, about 20 minutes later, pulled up in his car. He told me to get in the car, and I wouldn't because I didn't know what he was going to keep doing to me. So he pulled around me, pulled into a driveway, and I kept walking past that driveway, and when he backed his car out, he hit me purposely with his car, and then drove back to his house.
During any of these instances, did you ever attempt to contact the police?
I did in another incident, not that one specifically. That night I did end up finding my keys in the woods, and I did end up being able to get away, and I slept in my car that night in a random apartment complex somewhere. But the next time, this was right before the incident, so it must have been April.
Of 2019?
Yes, of 2019. He got mad at me over something, I don't recall what. He held me on the bed for a while, would not let me get up. And then it was yelling at me, but then took his phone and he like smashed it into my mouth to like knock my head back. I still had my phone at that point. And used like the emergency SOS feature. If you hit your power button 5 times, it'll automatically call 911. And I used it and called 911. But once he realized what was happening, he snatched the phone from me. I didn't get to talk to anyone. He immediately hung up when they answered. And they did call back to that number, but he had my phone at that point, so he obviously didn't answer. And
so 911 actually called back?
Yes,
to your
and
phone.
they left a voicemail. I have the voicemail.
It's not really a factual, I mean, I guess it depends on how she knew that they called. If that was through a hearsay source, it would be inadmissible, but if it was something she personally observed, so if you want to clarify that, General.
How do you know that 911 called your phone back?
They called and they left a voicemail.
Well, I'm not so sure that's hearsay. It's not really a factual declaration being made by another person. I think this witness could testify based upon her own personal observations that 911 had called her back and left a voicemail. We're not getting into the contents of the voicemail or anything like that, just that they had called her back. So I think that is admissible.
And are there any other incidents that you can think of?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay.
That's all.
I want to talk to you now about what happened in June of 2019, okay? What we're here for today. We went over your injuries during the trial, but I just want to kind of review that a little bit more. So during the assault, did you lose consciousness?
Yes.
For how long?
About half of it, probably. A few minutes at a time, here and there. I would come back into consciousness and then lose consciousness again.
Okay. Were you in pain?
Yes.
Can you describe for the court how the amount of pain that you were in?
A lot of pain. He was hitting my head into the floor. That was the worst of it. Dragging me around by my hair, and the holds that he had on my neck were very painful. When it was happening, remember thinking that he was going to kill me.
When you, after the attack stopped and after you'd been to the hospital and everything, did your pain continue for any amount of time afterwards?
Yeah, it got worse. So I think at first I was kind of in a little bit of shock, like when I was talking to the police. But the next day and the day after that, like the pain really set in. my neck. I had neck pain for at least a year after the fact. Every day I would wake up with horrible neck pain that I had not had before that incident. So it got worse for the bit after.
And we all saw the photographs at trial. We saw the injury to your forehead. Mm-hmm. How long was that injury visible like that?
It was, you could see it like black and blue or like yellowing for probably about a month. I had like built up scar tissue here that I could feel for several months after the fact.
And can you tell us, when you went to the hospital, what were you diagnosed with?
A concussion.
That's the same.
Can you tell the court now how this whole thing has affected you?
I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear. Even with him in jail, it's hard. Every car that drives by a little bit too slowly. I'm looking out the front window. I fenced in my yard because I do not feel safe walking my dogs even around the neighborhood anymore if my husband's not with me. When I open the door to let the dogs out, I scan the whole perimeter of my yard because I'm just scared.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the court about how this has affected you or anything else?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Thank you, Jennifer. Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Ms. Wilson.
Good afternoon.
You've talked about a number of instances of alleged abuse that occurred aside from the facts that were in the trial, the June 19th incident. If we could take those sequentially, you indicated to Ms. Good that there was an occasion where he had bent your finger back at a friend's house, correct?
It was on the way home from a friend's house, yes.
Okay, can you tell me the year that happened?
2018.
Can you tell me the day of the week and the month that happened?
I know it was in April because it was around Easter, but I don't know the day of the...
Okay.
Oh, it was on a Sunday. I'm sorry. It was on a Sunday. I do know that.
And it's true, is it not, that based on that incident of, quote, bending your finger back, you did not terminate your relationship with Mr. Paschel, correct?
We didn't speak for about 2 weeks, but we did end up getting back together.
So the answer is yes, you did not terminate your relationship with Mr. Paschel, correct?
Ultimately correct.
You did not seek an order of protection from the Knox County Circuit Court, correct?
Correct.
You did not call 911, correct?
Correct.
Now, in September, you described an incident that was more involved, correct?
Yes.
Do you recall at what time, day of the week in September, those alleged events would have occurred?
It occurred at night, but that's all in September.
And is it your testimony that the allegations of striking, slapping, choking occurred in a motor vehicle?
Some of them in the motor vehicle and then some of them back at the house.
Okay. And whose motor vehicle were you in, Ms. Wilson?
Mr. Paschel's. And he was driving.
And at that time, Mr. Paschel was driving the motor vehicle, correct?
Yes.
And it's your testimony today here under oath that Mr. Paschel struck, choked you to the point that you lost consciousness as he was operating a vehicle on a public street or thoroughfare?
We were at a stoplight on Kingston Pike, and he was driving with one hand, and he grabbed my hair with the other.
So the light had momentarily turned red. You're in a public street, obviously with a light, traffic control. device, that means there was traffic that flowed 4 different ways, correct?
Correct.
And you're saying that with one hand he's operating the car, and the other hand he's able to strike, strangle, choke, grab you by the hair?
He grabbed me by the hair and pulled me over into his lap and then held me there until I pretended to go unconscious. I didn't actually go unconscious.
Okay, so he's operating the car, and you're saying he's choking you to the point of almost unconsciousness at this intersection?
Yes, at the stoplight. The car was stopped.
Yeah. And of course, you have pictures of the marks, I would assume?
I did not take them, no.
And as an educated professional young lady, I'm assuming if the abuse was that severe, you reported it to law enforcement?
I did not.
I would assume that you contemplated seeking an order of protection where there would be specific findings and a court could make a decision on whether you were abused and set parameters of contact. Did you do that?
I did not file an order of protection.
Did you know what an order of protection was at that time?
No.
You didn't?
Not at that time, no. I'd never been in an abusive relationship before.
And you're a school teacher and you have a college degree, and you're telling this court that you didn't know what an order of protection was from somebody that had been the victim of domestic violence?
Not
Judge,
of domestic
I think
violence.
she just testified that she previously had not been the victim of domestic violence. Just clarification.
Well, this is 2018, so I guess the finger incident, you didn't consider yourself a victim of domestic violence?
I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking.
The testimony was she had never been in an abusive relationship prior to that, is how I understood it.
And the night where you indicate that Geoffrey Paschel was operating the vehicle and able to subdue, strike, and strangle you to the point that you malingered unconsciousness, Mr. Paschel had been drinking, correct?
Yes.
You'd been drinking, correct?
Yes.
And it seems like that is a common denominator as it relates to the allegations of abuse, correct?
Sometimes.
And the issue with the bent finger, it's true that you both had been drinking, correct?
I don't recall that day.
So you do not have a clear recollection of whether you had or had not consumed alcoholic beverages when you say that incident occurred?
I don't recall that day of the bending finger. I don't remember.
All right, let's go to the next allegation that you've testified about this morning. On June 7th, that Mr. Paschel took your iPhone and damaged the phone, correct?
Yes.
And based on that, let's go back to the September 2018 conduct. After that alleged event, you did not terminate your relationship with Mr. Paschel, correct?
I did not.
January 7th, you say that he grabbed your iPhone, threw the phone, damaged the phone, correct?
He broke it over a table.
Okay. And at that point, once again, you did not call the police, correct?
I did not know.
You did not terminate the relationship with Mr. Paschel, correct?
I did not.
You did not go to the Knox County Circuit Court downstairs and seek an order of protection, correct?
No, I did not.
You did not seek a warrant for vandalism and damage to your phone, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall Ms. Wilson giving a statement to the Tennessee Department of Correction, Knoxville Office of Probation?
Yes. My victim impact statement?
Yes.
Yes.
And it's true, is it not, that even though you indicated that there had been other instances of abuse, you never detailed any of the information in the report that you're testifying about here today, correct?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, you never talked about bending the finger. You never talked about,
Okay.
none of those facts appeared in your victim impact statement, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
May I approach?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Wilson, let me ask you if you can review paragraph 17, and it also continues on the back of the report, and tell me whether that refreshes your recollection.
Did you see how Geoffrey Paschel is turning his body away from the victim in his case, away from his former girlfriend, the woman that he brutally beat back in 2019? He's even turning his body so far away from the front of the courtroom that he's looking back at the gallery. We'll get you back into the courtroom. There it is. There you see it there as we head to break. Look at him turn sideways as to not look at her as she speaks. We'll be right back after this.